Okay, so just realized actually my initial recordings for making these changes and adding this custom program account to my program. I messed up on the screen recordings and they weren't actually captured. So you missed quite a bit of the early stuff. So I'm going to go back real quick just as a quick summary. I think the last video we got to see the final test where I added and updated a test for canceling the trade. But just as kind of a recap for myself and to kind of capture these changes, I'm gonna add this, scoot this over a bit, get a little bit more room. So yeah, so what have we done here? So what I wanted to do is basically, first things first, I created a new custom program account. The whole purpose of this, honestly, is to allow me to use this total escrow count number as a seed for all the escrow PDA accounts that get created. So I'm trying to allow a single wallet to initialize multiple escrow accounts. So if I go back and run my test validator, and let's go to app and actually get my application running. So dev, and I'm going to build and deploy the custom, this escrow program, get this all running. And I've just merged all my changes to back to main from my branch. And I guess what I could do just to double check that after the merge, if I do an anchor run test escrow, this should again run through all of our tests, make sure that things are still good. Yeah, so looking good. So if I go over to localhost and get this running, it's gonna look a little different. Let's see. Yeah, let me get to my dev and swap it over to localhost. So I work with a couple of wallets. One is Phantom, one's a Soulflare. Pretty handy. So I've just did a quick little airdrop. And then go to my escrow program. You have something like this. So what we've got going on, now that is running, let's go back to some of the code. Currently as it is, this is not complete at all, but basically I can log in, a single wallet can log in, and we have to mint some tokens. We have to give these localhost wallets some tokens. So I run through a process of that and creating associated token accounts and all of that stuff. But basically what happens is that I can create, initialize an escrow with this wallet, and I can accept it by logging out with a second wallet. So that works. The problem is that it's limited in functionality, right? So ideally, I think it would be kind of nice for a single wallet to be able to initialize multiple escrows, wanting to do a bunch of different types of exchanges, and they're just kind of sitting there open, and other wallets can kind of come in and accept or not, so, or even initialize their own. So I'm just looking for kind of like a little bit more robust. So in order to do that though, because the each escrow account that we create, that we initialize, it's a PDA. So in order to allow a single wallet to do that, you have to come up with a unique seed every time for the PDA. And my solution is to come up with a higher level account I've just called it generically custom program. I could call it anything, dApp program account or system account, or, I may rename this one day, but basically it does the idea is this, where I've got this total escrow count. It's just a number that I can then use that I've then added as a field here in my escrow account itself. It's just escrow number, and that's going to be derived, or that's going to reference and come from this custom program's total escrow count number. Just a simple little increment. That's it. But in order to do that, I also had to write a validation struct for this custom program to create it. It has to have, the payer. It has to have a very generic seed. I could go back and add an authority seed or something like that, but this just works. It's just a generic high-level count. And then along the way, what I've missed, what wasn't fully captured, is that I have then gone through and updated my anchor program with these seeds. So this custom program, you'll see here that I'm referencing the custom program. I first borrow it, I access it using its seeds and bump to find its PDA. And then here we're initializing the escrow account, which itself is a PDA, and we're using these seeds. So this combination right here allows the same wallet, to apologies for the noise, to basically create multiple ones, because this is going to be 1, then 2, then 3, and so it can easily be found. Okay, so that's essentially it. But in order to do that, all these contexts, anchor contexts of the initialize escrow, the accept is the same thing. We have to, when we're accepting it, the second wallet logs in, and it needs to also find this specific escrow. And in order to do that, we need to use its seeds and its bump. So again, we're just adding this escrow number, because I've added this new escrow number field to the escrow account, and now we can find, that's how we find the escrow. So continuing on, not too many updates before that. And then we have the cancel, same thing. We need to reference the specific escrow that we're going to cancel. So I've added the seed, and there we go. So really, that's essentially it from the anchor side. And then back over on this side, this is my test. Originally did this all for one single escrow in mind and a fixed amount for the token, but I've made a lot of changes over time. And yeah, so anchor and its provider and its workspace object allows us to test easily, so it's quite nice, and use the IDL for all the typing and stuff. So what I have added here is I've added a custom program field at a high level, kind of my global state and its PDA, and same here with the escrow, referencing its IDL types. So this is all nice when anchor builds. And so I'm using now I'm using the before hook provided by Mocha to just make sure that the wallets have some SOL in there, and I do this whole creating mint and creating associated token accounts and all that. That's basically what I'm replicating here, just because we're on local development. Yada yada yada. We mint some supply and send it over to the appropriate wallets. Yada yada yada. So now finally, at here, I do my first official test. So this is where I have created the custom program account, generate its PDA. I find a PDA that works with the seeds. I generate it, I pass in, I run the program instruction, and now I have that, and I run some checks there. To initialize the escrow, same kind of thing. I derive the escrow number by referencing the custom program and its total escrow count, increment by 1, and I use all that. And if it's successful with the PDA, then I can add in the PDA as a seed to this escrow account. So down here in the instruction, you can see now we've created the escrow account, and we've added this new field. Well, it's going to have this new field for the escrow number. So go through the test, and that works. Get the bump, make sure that everything aligns, and that's that. And then last but not least, we have the accepting portion. So here again, we are using the we've just updated the seeds so we can reference the account data, and then we do the testing validations at the end, and then along with the cancel. So at the end of the day, we've got a working, we've basically enabled, this should enable a wallet to be able to create multiple accounts. Now what I could do next is to actually create a test in this file that confirms that. So I should be able to create multiple, like escrow 1, escrow 2, escrow 3, and that is what I will do next. All right, hope that helped.